Hey guys, Scott and Nate from PlayYourCourt.com, and today we're going to show you part 3 of some common technique mistakes we see a lot of players make. Alright guys, video 3 in a 3-part video series where we're fixing some of the common mistakes we see with technique. This video is for players with a PlayYourCourt rating of 70 and below. If you're not in our community or familiar with our rating system, definitely click the link below and check it out. We give you everything you need to improve your tennis game for just $5 a month, so definitely check that out. But if you're not in our community or familiar with our rating system, a PlayYourCourt 70 is the equivalent of about a USTA 4.0. So Nate, take it away.
Okay, so super quick tip today, and this is going to be about how we initiate the stroke with our ready position. So some of you out there, you've made this transition into an Eastern or a semi-Western grip, and you're simply just starting with the racket preparation incorrect. All right, so before we talk about the wrong way, we're going to jump into how we want you to fix it. If you're already doing this, fantastic, because we know that the way the stroke finishes is often determined by how the stroke starts. Okay, so what we're talking about here is with the semi-Western grip. If you're not familiar with the semi-Western grip, we'll put a link into another video where we do talk grips, but basically I'm just putting the V of my hand on the bevel, which would be the flat bevel with the strings down. And the ready position that we want to see is with the racket off-centered and the strings facing down just in front of my left foot. Okay, and the reason we want the strings here is it's going to allow us to move the racket out and up on that forehand without having to change the joint position. You can see my elbows are out, right? I've got the spacing we talked about in video 2 about the beach ball and how important that is to have that space. And so what I'm doing is as I turn my shoulders to get into this ready position, the strings, everything, the racket is in the correct position as a lever in order to drop and strike the ball. Okay, so this is what we want in a ready position. Semi-Western grip, strings facing down, listed to the left. Okay, so the mistake that we're seeing is the semi-Western grip, turning the wrist and starting with the beam, the edge of the racket, straight up and down. And the reason this is incorrect is it's going to lend the racket to want to pull to the side, to where you can see I'm now retracting the arm, there's not a coil, and the joint position gets kind of funky here. And this is where we'll see kind of that old school teaching, flashlight at the ball. All right, and you're just gonna end up with this big flat monster, right? And even if I'm semi-Western, I'm gonna start trying to drop the racket and it won't be organic, and I'll end up swinging up the ball, and I'm gonna end up getting on top of it to where I'm forcing the ball down because the racket's just not starting in a correct position. So whether semi-Western or continental, semi-Western or Eastern, okay, the position has to be with the racket listed on this side so that I'm in this position here and the racket will flow through joint position appropriately, all right? So if you're just, to refresh it in summation, right? If you're in this position with your semi-Western or Eastern to where you're turning on edge and holding it up, we want to get the strings down with the elbows out so we can get the appropriate spacing, okay? So guys, a moment ago, I slipped up and I said continental. It was in my mind because I do want to talk about the continental grip, but really where the continental grip is appropriate is when we're transitioning to the net for a volley or an overhead. Obviously the serve, but unless you have a continental forehand, you should be getting into your semi-Western grip. Even if you have a continental grip on your bottom hand or on your backhand, you're still looking for your weapon off the serve, so it should still be into your semi-Western. But as far as the continental grip is concerned, your ready position, okay, is still gonna list a little bit to the side, all right? So even for the volley, with this being straight ahead, isn't nearly as effective with it being a little bit listed to the backhand. All right, and this is just a little bonus tip. This is because the backhand makes up the majority of the volley within our body. So we want it listed to the body. We also know that the joint position with keeping the racket listed to the backhand also helps us getting the racket in the appropriate position for a forehand volley, okay? So guys, that's what we want to focus on, is making sure on our forehand, we're making sure the strings are down, listed to the side, elbows out, all right? Then we're getting that spacing correct on the side. I think by doing these things, if you start the forehand correctly, you're going to find that you're often getting into the joint position where you're able to keep the shoulders and the hips set without the racket having a lot of variation and essentially getting off track.
Nate, amazing instruction, my dude. Guys, if Nate or I have ever provided any value for you on this YouTube channel, do us a favor, click the link below and check out our membership. We give you everything you need for just $5 a month to improve your tennis game. Do us a favor. We want to see you improve your game. Just click the link below, check out our membership. We'll see you guys soon.